Do you believe in UFOs?
I don't not believe in UFOs. I'm willing to be convinced, but having never seen any myself.
You've never seen anything?
No, seeing's believing for me.
OK, well, for years, Scotland has been seen as a hotspot of unidentified flying objects. A new book brings together some of the most amazing, remarkable sightings. With us now, the author Malcolm Robinson, alongside Brian McMullen, who was a sceptic until he had his own encounter. Welcome to you both. Malcolm, you too, you've written this book, but you didn't believe at the beginning, did you?
That's correct. I was an ardent sceptic. I really didn't think there were any validity to these tales of machines flying about the Scottish skies. But it's like anything else in life. Once you physically get involved in investigating these subjects, then you come off the fence. And I found that after a few years of investigation, there was enough substantial data to validate the people that's been seeing these things.
I mean, you've written this book. Why, in particular, is it Scotland? Why are these unidentified flying objects flocking over here to us?
Well, it is a global phenomenon, Michelle. I mean, they've been sighted all over the world for sure, but Scotland as a nation has been touched by the UFO presence quite substantially. And what this book illustrates is the best cases to come in Scotland. Low-level, close proximity sightings, sightings above rooftops, you can almost throw a stone at. And these have been investigated, and I've checked with the police, the airports, the Met Office, the Ministry of Defence, to try and find out if there are any rational explanations to account for these sightings. Because 9 times out of 10, you can't explain these sightings. As much as 95% of all UFO reports can easily be explained away. But it's that 5%. The 5% is so puzzling to myself and my colleagues all over the world.
Brian, you've had your own experience. Share it with us.
Yes, well, I joined Malcolm's group in the mid-80s, and we started doing like sky watches and things like that. One of them was in fact up in the Campsie Fells, north of Glasgow, and that was the best sighting we ever had, you know. But apart from that, I've also been helping Bonnybridge, etc., you know, doing investigations there, taking notes from the people of Bonnybridge, and that's about it really.
Wow.
With Malcolm's group, you know.
We've actually, you've been very kind, we've got some pictures that we can take a wee look at now. Do you want to just tell us what we're seeing here?
Yeah, what you're looking at on screen is the underside of a UFO that was taken in 1991 by Philip Trevis. And he was out with a colleague to film some of the flares and the lights at Grangemouth Petrochemical Plant. Now, as he was there, this light came at a very, very terrific speed across in his direction. Then it stopped. Then it started to descend above his head. He actually had to bend over backwards. So the photograph that you saw a moment ago is the underside of this object. It just suddenly screamed off into the sky and was gone in seconds. Now, we obviously did the investigation with the police and the airports, and nothing was flying in the air at that time, at that location. So technically it falls into the category of an unidentified flying object.
Captain, I think we've got another one we can take a look at as well.
I think this is one of the classic sightings, isn't it, in Scotland?
Again, this is another one. This was taken in 1994 at Craigluscar Reservoir by a chap called Ian McPherson. And he was there to take some photographs of the reservoir, and he became aware of this humming sound. Initially he thought it was the electricity pylons nearby, and he went, well, what is that? And he turned round and he was absolutely amazed to see this disc-shaped object in the sky. And he had a camera, and for moments he couldn't take the photograph, and he just suddenly realised, I've got to take this photograph. And he did, and it just, again, the top part, as you saw in the photograph, it was taller. It telescoped into the main body of the object and screamed away into the sky.
Let's cut to the chase. What do you think these things are? You've studied them long enough.
Yeah, a vast majority can be explained as Chinese lanterns of our own aircraft viewed in the sky at an unusual angle with the light shining off the fuselage, birds in flight, etc. It could be that some of these sightings are our own black budget technology, because the stealth aircraft flew in America for 10 years before the American military machine put their hands up and said it was ours. And that gave rise to a lot of false UFO reports.
There's something quite exciting happening at the moment, isn't there, for Scotland in terms of the movie industry?
Yeah, it is kind of breaking news. DRB Entertainment in London, Dion Rose, is doing a movie of one of Scotland's biggest UFO encounters, the A70 abduction case. It's going to be turned into a movie. And I'm ever so pleased that that's going to happen for the Scottish public to realise that they have a recognisable phenomena in their own backyard. And it's something, we may laugh and joke about this subject, but there is something very, very real, very mysterious ongoing in the skies.
Right, Brian, if someone's watching this at home and they're very sceptical and they say, I've never seen anything, this sounds like a load of old rubbish, look straight down that camera there and tell them, why should they believe?
Well, basically we're getting reports constantly. We're getting people, you know, phoning us, writing to us, email and all the rest. It is happening out there to people, you know. They don't know what it is. A lot of times it could be the stars, the planets or any. We realise that. But at the same time, for every 100 that come in, there might be about 5. They'll be very interesting. Wow. So keep reporting them and report them to the police and things like that. Not necessarily jumping on any bandwagon by getting yourself in newspapers, etc. But certainly try and find out what you saw.
And if it's genuine.
If it's genuine.
Keep an open mind, Malcolm, yeah?
Absolutely, you've got to keep that open mind. When John Major was in power, we petitioned John Major by the signatures from the people of Bonnybridge for the British government to come to Bonnybridge and open up a government inquiry. And it fell on deaf ears, sadly, because we got the tired old statement back from Whitehall was, as these objects do not constitute a threat to the defence of the United Kingdom, the British government will not seek to open up an investigation. We did that with Tony Blair as well, but it fell on deaf ears.
You might be able to try another Prime Minister in a few months' time, you never know.
Well,
Malcolm, your book's in the shops just now, UFO Case Files of Scotland. Thank you very much indeed for coming.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
Thank you very much.